Most of us consider ancient Egypt an African civilization ruled by African born pharaohs. But did you know that for centuries Egypt was also ruled by a dynasty of Europeans? Yes, the pharaohs of Egypt were indeed for a long time white. If you like movies and series, you may have noticed cases where the actor's race in that role became a controversy. One great example is the series Queen Cleopatra.
Skin color. I remember my grandmother saying to me, I don't care what they tell you in school, Cleopatra was black.
This was especially insulting given the fact that Cleopatra was an European woman who was part of a European dynasty that had been pharaohs for thousands of years. This made the series a cheap piece of propaganda, which I also heard was pretty boring. Today, we're going to talk about the fascinating stories of the European pharaohs who left their mark on the Nile. Make sure to comment what do you think. In 332 BC, Alexander the Great, one of the most respected and renowned leaders in history, invaded the region and was welcomed by the Egyptians as a liberator, freeing Egypt from the Persians. Alexander became the first foreign pharaoh and was considered a god by the people, although his reign on the Nile was short. After his death, one of his most trusted generals, Ptolemy, inherited Egypt and established a new dynasty that would change life on the Nile for the better. Ptolemy became the first of the Ptolemaic dynasty, a line of Greek pharaohs who ruled Egypt from Alexandria for 3 centuries. But nothing was easy for him at first. You can imagine how challenging it can be to rule over a people foreign to your language, religion, and culture. That's why he took drastic measures to ensure a strong foundation for himself and his ancestors. Ptolemy I gained legitimacy and won the people over by fusing the Greek and Egyptian religions, restoring the temples of the pharaohs which had been destroyed by the Persians, bringing gifts to the ancient Egyptian gods, and becoming the supporter of the Egyptian nobility and priesthood. This level of skilled cultural and religious maneuvering was inherited by his successors. The members of his dynasty were European, and they integrated themselves as true rulers over Egypt in a true pharaoh's fashion. They did not only control the people, but also the economy. The Ptolemaic rulers created a highly centralized bureaucratic state. They controlled the economy closely, monopolizing essential resources like land, labor, and trade. The bureaucracy was organized with a focus on taxation, agriculture, and trade, with the Greek officials overseeing much of this administration, though Egyptians held some local roles. The Ptolemies were great patrons of science and learning, which led to significant advancement. Under Ptolemy III, the chief librarian of Alexandria calculated the Earth's circumference with remarkable accuracy, using shadows and geometry. Ptolemaic Egypt also fostered the development of the heliocentric theory by Aristarchus, who proposed that the Earth orbits the Sun centuries before Copernicus. This dynasty, in my opinion, is truly awesome, and they really should be more popular. The most famous and iconic figure of the Ptolemaic dynasty was Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of Egypt. Known for her intelligence, charm, and ambition, Cleopatra was a formidable leader who spoke multiple languages and fought hard to keep Egypt independent amid Roman pressure. Her romance with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony were legendary. But Cleopatra was also a skilled ruler who knew Egypt's customs deeply and saw herself as the rightful ruler and protector of Egypt. No matter how the modern media wants to portray her, She was not African. However, Cleopatra did not have a strong successor, and her death in 30 BC marked the end of the Ptolemaic dynasty and Egypt's final moments of independence before becoming a Roman province. Cleopatra's story has captivated people for centuries, embodying the greatness of the European pharaohs in Egypt. European by blood, the Ptolemies made profound contribution to Egyptian society. They founded Alexandria, a city that became a center of learning, trade, and culture, drawing scholars from all over the ancient world. The Ptolemies also contributed to Egyptian temples, honored local gods, and even merged Greek and Egyptian artistic styles, creating a unique cultural fusion. After the Ptolemies, Egypt would be ruled by a succession of foreign powers, Romans, Arabs, and eventually modern-day authorities. The legacy of the Ptolemaic dynasty remain in the architecture, art, and cultural exchanges they left behind. Their reign is a testament to how Europeans integrated into the society by adopting and contributing to a new culture, leaving a mark that endures throughout time. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe.
Cleopatra was actually a Japanese, who adored her. Here's one plain fact. Ptolemaic dynasty that Cleopatra belonged to, has the lowest possibility to have any leader that wasn't pure Macedonian Greek, and possibility of it being black African is even lower. It is what it is.